So I fucking told you there was gonna be a second part to this fucked up relationship I got with Disney. And now that we got a second viewpoint, he's mainly gonna say his because I already said what I think.
Point of view.
Yeah. I already said what I think. I might jump in because I'm a dick.
It's not because you're a dick. It's more because you're always been the movie buff out of the two of us.
Yeah.
I'm more of a comic kind of book guy. Now, I do concur with him. I think Disney should just stay out of Marvel, for one, because...
Not just Marvel. It should stay out of shit they were never involved with in the first place.
Especially your favorite film.
They wiped their ass with
it.
so much knowledge.
Everything I pretty much was learning became useless to me.
Pretty much.
40 years. 40 plus years. Just washed down the drain by some moron in a suit. I don't blame Disney. I blame the idiots that run it.
I forget his name. I think his name is Al something. I'm not sure.
Now, do we know that the I know many people are gonna shout against me in this one. Do we know that the dude that created Disney was a Hitler-loving, Jew-hating son of a bitch?
Yeah, which is ironic. Like,
of course he was. I mean, did he say it out loud? No, but his cartoons spoke out loud. I mean, you just have to look for that fucking short with Donald Duck.
Donald Duck, when he's like, Hail Hitler, making bombs and shit.
Yes, exactly. Many of the things Disney wants you to forget.
Yeah, in fact, we were just talking about this just yesterday, actually. We were talking about how PewDiePie got kicked, how Disney parted ways with him for saying a Jew-bashing joke when they were made by a fucking asshole who Jew-bashed. Like, really, Disney? Are you just gonna fucking ignore that?
Of course they are. They're a multi-billion company that no longer cares about the customer.
We should get Anonymous to fuck with them or something.
I mean, for crying out loud, they bought Marvel Studios.
Like I said in my part one, I'm not really. I'm a fan of Marvel. Like, yeah, I love Marvel movies, but
you're not a diehard fan.
I'm not. Yeah, not like you. The only die-hard Marvel movie that I like is probably X-Men. Mainly because they're not scared.
Marvel. Don't forget that the rights are somewhere else.
I don't give a shit.
I'm just letting you know. Many people are going to shout out again.
The Fox universe. Let's just call it the Fox universe.
Okay, we can call it that.
Because they're not scared of crossing the line. They did it with Deadpool, which grossed, I don't know how many, 2 billion or something like that?
Just about.
Something like that. I don't remember, honestly. They did it with Logan, which did good, if not even better. And from what I've heard about the Phoenix, the Dark Phoenix,
we got a lot of good things coming.
I heard it's gonna be rated R too. I'm not exactly sure.
No, that's the thing. That's another thing. Disney has a lot of things
that are supposed to be rated R.
Yeah, and what do?
Tone it down.
Tone it down. Why? Because they're trying to merchandise out to kids. Iron Man was never meant to be a toy for kids.
No, I heard that fucker is really graphic in the comics.
It is.
Like, isn't he like a sexual fuck?
No, he used to deal with alcoholism.
Did he really?
Yes. That was his weakness. Iron Man was an alcoholic.
I thought it was women.
He's a womanizer, but the alcohol was the thing that brought him down. You know? Another thing, I don't think many people know this, but Stark isn't really a Stark. He was actually adopted by the Starks.
So that's true?
Yeah, their first son was actually created by an alien.
What the fuck?
Yep, he's extremely intelligent and helps his brother out. Another thing Disney blocked out. Why? Because it's not convenient for them. That's not something you merchandise to kids. Oh, look! Create your own baby!
That sounds like a pretty good sales pitch, though.
Yeah, but...
just not from Disney.
Exactly. I mean, now they're fucking with Star Wars, dude. 40 years. 40 years. Endless comics. All the background stories of all the major people were either changed or completely erased.
No, because not even you know this. In the comics, Luke and not Luke, Han and Leia, they have like 4 kids. They have, I can't remember the names by memory because I didn't really read that storyline. But they have twins, which are, One of them is like a clone of Han, which is just like him, and the other one is like the good version of Kylo Ren. And then they had another one. That one was Ben Skywalker. And I know they had a fourth one, but I can't remember his name. They had two boys and three boys and one girl, I think. And Disney just, like I said, wiped their ass with it. They just said, no, just give him one son, and he turns to the dark side. That's it. Yeah, there's no, like, it doesn't pull your leg or anything, or it doesn't give you like a M. Night Shyamalan twist. It's just, that's it. Which I fucking despise. Like, don't get me wrong, the movie is fucking amazing. I love The Force Awakens. I kind of knew
that was a great movie.
Yeah, I kind of knew Han was gonna die. I knew he was gonna fucking die.
Can we not touch that? You know that's a tender spot for me.
I don't give a shit.
That's a tender spot, man.
And I just fucking spoiled it for a lot of people because I know a lot of people haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, you're a pendejo for not seeing it.
That is true.
And another thing that Disney where they really poked the nest is when Rogue One was being filmed, there was rumors that it was going to be the first R-rated Star Wars film. And it actually ended up being true like a year later after it came out. But Disney didn't want that shit. They were like, no, it's too dark. It's too dark. So Star Wars was never supposed to be family friendly. I mean, the first ones probably were because you didn't know what the hell was going on behind the scenes. I don't mean like movie scenes. I mean like expanded universe wise. Han Solo was a fucking horn dog. I bet you didn't know that shit. Well, you probably did, but he cheated on Leia, and that bitch still stayed with him. I'm surprised by that, but
not really. Back in the day, women were objects more than anything else.
Yeah, but still, like,
not that I'm saying that women are objects. Before whoever's watching this yells out, "Oh, sexist." No, I don't want that to be the thing. But back in the day, comic books were kind of like, "Hey, you're the woman. This is your place. This is where you're meant to stay," and that's about it.
Yeah.
That actually changed things to Wonder Woman for anybody who's a Wonder Woman fan. That's kind of how that came to be. Fun fact for you. I don't know if you knew this, but you know those little bracelets she wears?
The gauntlets?
Yeah.
What about them?
Yeah, they were actually the gauntlets of domination.
Swear to God.
I swear to God. Little by little, in the comics, they started changing. If you wanna check that out, guys, there's something called and I'm not making promotion for another channel, but I'm a very big fan of them. The Desk of Death Battle, I think it was,
right.
and they actually discussed her in deeper.
Really?
Yeah, because recently they had a death battle with her and Thor. But,
yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, and
she kicked his ass.
Oh, what do you want? She's an Amazon.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, her gauntlets were called the gauntlets of submission or some shit.
It's some kinky BDSM shit.
Yeah, something like that. And that's another thing Disney wants you to forget that happened. I mean, there's a lot of movies, good comics that were turned into bad movies. Sometimes it's the studio's fault, sometimes it's the director's fault. For example, the new Fantastic Four.
Oh, Fantastic.
Oh, God.
That was the studio's fault. That's where Fox really fucked up there. I mean, the first two, they were okay. But compared to this, they should have won a fucking Oscar compared to this one. This one, I wouldn't even wipe my ass with it. No.
I mean, at this point, you should just give the rights back to its rightful.
No, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it.
I mean, they killed it. What more do they want? I mean, I'm not saying they can't come back from this, but stick to what you know, Fox. Stick with what you know. Don't try to play the hero. Don't try to compete with the other guys. I mean, Disney. If you got something for us fans that we're not ready to see, or you think we're not ready to see, we probably already are. I mean, you saw how much money a rated R superhero movie can do. Jesus, I mean,
it's paving ways for
it really is. It's opening a lot of doors. Disney needs to learn how to just let comic book movies be comic book movies, It's more about what the fans want and not so much for selling merchandise.
Yeah.
Now, am I saying don't sell to kids? Yeah, but let there be a difference between us, the moviegoers, at a certain age, and the kids who have to stay home and watch cartoons.
What they could also do is outsource, like, not outsource, I don't know the exact word for it, but if you're gonna have a movie that's rated R, let someone else like, make the merchandise for that specific movie. So, if you don't want to get your fucking hands dirty, you don't.
Exactly my point.
Like how, what's that one movie? Shit. I can't remember the studio, but it's basically where they made a bunch of kid movies, and all of a sudden they made like a not an adult movie, but like too violent for kids, and they actually gave the rights to Hasbro or Hot Toys, one of the two, and it turned out really well. So
Just let someone else take care of it for you guys.
just stick with what you know, like what he said. Just
Comic book heroes need to be comic book heroes, and kid heroes need to be kid heroes. Now, there's a lot of heroes that cross both lines, like Spider-Man, because he's got light comics, and then he's got
the dark ones,
the
like
dark
the
ones.
ultimate ones, yeah.
The dark ones. I mean, the Punisher. That's for us adults.
And this is like, it's both smart and kind of fucked up, because you know how Marvel Studios gained back Daredevil, Punisher, and the Skullfire one. What's his name? Ghost Rider.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm obviously they're like violent as shit, because I've read some of those comics,
Of course. I mean,
and Frank Castle is one sick son of a bitch.
I would be too if my family got
Just
killed
right
in front of
you.
me.
Yeah.
But, well, then again, it depends, because if it's just the outside family, then I kind of wouldn't mind. Because don't forget, in the Punisher you and I know, the first one,
Yeah.
it's this whole, like, the whole castle family. It just gets wiped the fuck out.
Yeah.
And the other one, Warzone, is just
his wife and
his kids at the park. So, I mean, either way, it's fucked up. I'm not saying it's not fucked up. But the man is a dark person. There's no way you can outsource that to kids without a kid coming up with the solution of somebody killed somebody of mine, then the normal thing to do is
kill his ass.
stick the bandage.
Yeah, no.
Ghost Rider, there's no way Ghost Rider can be outsourced to kids. Disney, so please don't try. I mean, the man lives off souls. His stare in this I want to pronounce this right, because if I don't, comic fans are gonna kill me. His ghost stare, let's call it that, if I don't remember right now. That literally eats out your soul. We saw it in the first one. I mean, did Nicolas Cage do a good job playing the Ghost Rider? I would have probably gone a different way.
Who would have you chosen?
I don't know. Somebody a little bit different. Not saying that Nicolas Cage didn't do a good job.
He got the psycho part right.
He got it right. He got that right. But I feel like if you're gonna choose somebody, it needs to be somebody with a little bit more butch. Something more. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to describe it, but something more. I'm not saying he didn't do a good job. He did a great job. He got the psycho part down right.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, the faces he made when he was first transforming, they were great.
That shit was creepy as fuck, though.
Now the second one, I just don't. I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it.
You can tell they really tried to tone it down. They really
Yes,
did.
They did. I mean, it's not the same as the first one.
It's good. Like,
is.
action-wise, and it's good, but
it catches your attention.
Yeah, but story-wise, you can tell they toned it down.
Exactly. Like I said, please, movie studios, stick to what you know. If you think it needs to change,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. It probably doesn't. If you think you need to add something more to it, please don't. Because there's always going to be people like us who know what we're talking about. Why? Because we go out to the movies. Why? Because we enjoy such movies. People read the comic books. Please don't think that just because you bought the studio or you bought the movie rights or whatever.
You think you know everything.
You think you know. You need to research these type of things because there's a lot of people, like my friend here, who have put a lot of effort into memorizing.
And I got a fucked up memory too.
Memorizing worth of information. Canon, everything that's canon up to point. Comic book people that I know are going to be watching this, you need to understand that we as a group can come together and let the studios know that, hey, we like things the way we are. We like things to be canon, things to make sense. Again, like we said, rated R movies are really opening up doorways. Do we expect every superhero movie to come out from now on to be rated R? No, because
only the ones that deserve to be.
Of course, Punisher, Deadpool,
Punisher, Daredevil,
Ghost Rider.
And they actually found a loophole on doing that shit. Like I said, Marvel Studios, Disney would not allow that shit to be on movies, but yet they make shows on Netflix. So, like I said, it's smart because it's still part of the MCU, except it's not cinematic. It's still the Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. But not everyone has Netflix.
And not everybody's willing to play for Netflix.
Yeah. Well, it's not because of that, but you see what I'm trying to get at?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not giving the right franchises the chance that they deserve. Like, in my opinion, the first Punisher was amazing. I've read a lot of the Punisher comics, and that's actually pretty fucking accurate.
Yes, it is.
The top 3 comic book movies that are very accurate that I remember seeing are Punisher, Deadpool, except they changed the whole You explain them because you confused me. Sometimes.
So pretty much, if you haven't read the comic book, the Deadpool was more of
when they were in the Weapon X program.
Well, not so much in the Weapon X program, but it was more like during the time they were locked up in the doctor's office, if you will, and the people there, the patients, would take bets on who would survive the next round of experiments. And later they called it the Deadpool. Of course, many of you fans know that, of course, Deadpool took on the name
of the bed itself
and wiped the fucking floor with everybody there. So that's where the difference comes in the movie, because apparently in the Deadpool it was still a betting thing, but
it was in a bar instead of like the program itself.
The program itself.
That's the only thing that changed though.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything else stays the same.
Well, also, in the movie, because remember it's Fox, and wasn't Thanos the one who made him immortal?
No, he's already immortal. Thanos just made it impossible for him to actually die. Because if you chop off an immortal's head like Wolverine, he will die.
You can't though. His whole fucking skull is adamantium.
No, but before that, if you pay attention in the origins of Wolverine, his brother Sabretooth.
Yeah, I'll cut his head. Yeah.
Yeah, if you cut off his head, either one of their heads, they die because they can't regrow that.
Yeah.
It's disconnected.
But now, because he has adamantium, nothing can cut adamantium except adamantium. Yeah.
So therefore, he can never actually die. Thanos, on the other hand, cursed Deadpool to be immortal because he was jealous of Deadpool and Death's relationship. Pretty much, Death fell in love with Deadpool. Deadpool's in love with Death, but they can't be together because Deadpool can't die. And then, Thanos, being the immortal god that he is, falls in love with Death as well. And Death has made it pretty fucking clear that
she doesn't want him.
She doesn't want him. So if he can't have Death, then nobody can.
Yeah.
So therefore, Deadpool becomes immortal. I mean, he does eventually take that away from him now.
Yeah, because he hates him to the point where he actually wants to kill him. That's how much he fucking hates him. But then he knows if he kills him, he wins. He gets to be with Death. And that's one thing that really changed in the movie. Because they can't use Thanos. Because obviously he belongs to the MCU. I mean, could Fox and Marvel Studios, Disney, they probably could have made a deal to like where you could be mentioned or referenced or anything, but Fox is too proud to do that. So
I mean, as long as they don't fuck up the second one, we're good.
yeah,
That's all we ask.
that's all we ask.
Don't fuck up the second one. Again, as far as Disney and Marvel right now goes, I'm still a Marvel fan. I am. I'm a Marvel fan through and through. But I have to let my opinion be known as the fact that I don't agree with the decision they made as far as selling out their studio to somebody who started out making movies for kids.
And you know what the fucked up part is? The fucked up part is that Disney started making kid movies based off of stories that had nothing to. Well, maybe they had kids, but they were completely fucked.
Dark movies.
Dark as shit stories.
Pinocchio. I don't know if many people know that Pinocchio actually ends up with Pinocchio trying to hang himself.
Fun fact: almost all the stories from the original fairy tales are German. You see what I mean?
Pinocchio,
Germans, Nazis.
Pinocchio tried to kill himself. Snow White died over the poison. Aladdin, I remember, or somebody gets their hands chopped off.
I don't think that's Aladdin. I know Ariel kills herself in The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, like all the stories they have made kids to believe that end up happily ever after.
The gingerbread man, motherfucker's not gingerbread. He's like some type of tar or something. He devours kids. If you really want to watch the real version of fairy tales, watch the Brothers Grimm. That's like the most accurate version that I've seen of actual fairy tales. How they should have ended.
They're not what people.
They're not what people.
I mean, am I glad that Disney tried to cheer up the world a little bit? Yes. And honestly, if they would keep it up, good for them. The only thing I regret having from them was it Pixar that made Frozen or Disney? Somebody
Disney.
made. Whoever made Frozen, you can all rot in hell.
Yeah, it was Disney. It wasn't
okay,
Pixar.
well, whoever came.
Pixar doesn't make Pixar doesn't make ¿cómo se dice? Princess movies.
See, okay, thank you for bringing that up. See, the thing is with Frozen, whoever came up with that idea, whoever said,
burn in hell.
Please, God, if there's a God out there, let him or her, whoever was sitting at that meeting, came up with that idea, let them burn in hell, because we have put up with that movie for so long that just hearing those words make me want to commit suicide. Not that I would, but it makes me think about it.
Yeah.
Now, Pixar.
Pixar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't go too much. Pixar.
I'm cool with Pixar.
God, yes, we love you. Thank you for all the wonderful childhood memories.
My favorite Pixar movie is now The Good Dinosaur. I cried like a bitch when that movie ended.
God, I cried like a little girl with Toy Story 3, dude.
No, that movie made me cry more than Toy Story 3.
I haven't seen The Good Dinosaur, so I don't know.
I got it right there. If you want to watch it later.
Maybe later after we watch the other ones. But Pixar, thank you for not changing. Thank you for not trying different things. You are good at what you do. Please do not change.
I mean, they are owned by Disney. I don't even know how it started off. Like, did they exist before Toy Story 1? Because as soon as Toy Story 1 came out, they were already owned by Disney. So did Disney like make a separate studio, or were they already a studio and then Disney just bought them?
I'm not really sure on that one.
Because Toy Story came out of nowhere.
I think that's what launched Pixar on its own.
No, because when you see like an original VHS copy of Toy Story, it says Disney's Pixar.
No, yeah, well, that's the thing. Disney used to own Pixar.
It still does.
Not as much as it used to. It's kind of crawling itself away from Disney. Because if you haven't noticed, the new movies don't really say Disney's Pixar. It just says
Pixar.
Pixar.
Yeah.
Because Toy Story was the movie that brought them out of Disney's shadow.
The shadow, yeah.
And so, again, guys...
And it followed up with Bugs Life and Toy Story 2.
Which all of them took off. And unlike Disney, who decides some things are canon or some prisons, some princesses aren't good enough to be kept around anymore.
Like
Princess and the Frog.
uh,
You know.
yeah, because
She's black. Because she's black. Let's not beat around the bush. Because she's black. I mean,
don't call us racist.
We're not the ones who raised. Did you not see how they painted Louisiana?
Yeah.
Hello.
Nothing but fucking voodoo and gumbo and all that shit. But
Hey.
they abandoned the Princess and the Frog after the movie came out. No sequel. I think I think it's the fact that it was the last 2D animated movie. No, I'm lying. It was the last Princess 2D animated movie that they made. The last 2D animated was a Winnie the Pooh one in 2011. That was the last time they ever did 2D animation.
But the thing is, well, you see what I mean? Like, there was no merchandise. There was no...
No, there wasn't. And if there was, it was either really expensive or very scarce, yeah.
Very little.
Sometimes it was both.
Yep. So, I mean, like we said, and I guess our final point in all of this would be Pixar, stay where you are. Don't go anywhere. Disney, remember that you no longer just have to worry about what kids want, but you have to worry about the adults as well, since you own a comic book studio. Don't forget, most of the people there are older than kids. Yeah. We've been following Marvel since the very beginning.
Do what you're doing with Pirates of the Caribbean, for example. It targets both kids
and adults.
Both kids because of the visuals, and adults because of the humor, because of the storyline,
the action sequences.
That's a perfect combination. If Pirates of the Caribbean was belonged to Marvel,
that would have been great.
That would have been great. Yeah, that would have taken you to like a step further than what you already are. That would have cemented another footstep. But oh well.
Oh well. And another thing, if you're a comic book fan, please, again, there's ways to let them know, hey, we don't like this. Again, it's not okay for them to wipe their asses with background stories. Yeah, I get it.
Comics maybe they change like different storylines, and maybe there are some legal loopholes that just can't, like Fox and Marvel, they can, but yeah, just, and if they decide not to listen to you, that's just on them. I mean, that's nothing we can do anything about, unless we really grab them by the balls and twist.
So I guess that's pretty much it. That covers this.
Yeah.
But have that in consideration and don't give up. Maybe someday we will get what we want.
Hopefully. I think we got another video coming up because I haven't uploaded in a while, and I'm starting to get used to uploading constantly. So catch you fuckers in the third video we do today. And yeah, later.